Hello everybody. I fortunately had the chance to trim Cricket's hooves today and record the process, so I'm going to just be going over what I did as the video of what I did is playing. As you can see, this front left foot, the video started in the middle of me doing this foot, so you didn't get to see the start, but this really wasn't a bad hoof. It wasn't badly grown over or anything. I'm just going in and cleaning up the edges because for goats you want their hooves to be the same kind of length. You want them kind of rounded if you can get that, but I wasn't confident in my abilities as this was my first time ever trimming any kind of hoof, and goat hooves are very soft and have a quick, just like dogs' claws or cats' claws or rabbits' claws do. So I didn't want to cause any discomfort by this. I was just trying to alleviate some of the discomfort from walking on these overgrown parts. You'll see when we get to the next the next 3 feet, and especially the last one, that he had overgrown things over the middle section of his foot. For goats, the middle part of their hoof, the flatter, wider part that you see here, doesn't really grow at all. It might grow a little bit over a lot of time, but the edges of the foot will grow a lot more. And you'll see we're walking around here. You can see when I pick up this foot that, he's resisting a little bit, but he did really, really well on his front feet. You can see that I'm pointing to there and where the clippers are, that you can see it's overgrown all the way almost to the middle of his toes. Goats have 2 toes on each foot, all 4 of them, and then they have these little nubs on the back that are kind of like dogs' paw pads. They're just slightly more hoof-like, but they're not really hooves. They're pillowy cushions to make sure that the goats aren't injuring the bones that are there, because they have to rest on those a lot and they use those for climbing if this was a mountain goat. You can see I'm very carefully shaving just little bits at a time, um, because this is my first time trimming any hooves. I didn't want to get too close to where it could hurt him. I definitely didn't go as far as a professional would go, but I just wanted to make it a little bit more comfortable for him so he wasn't walking on curled over hooves or anything, so he wouldn't have any discomfort or dirt getting trapped inside the folds. You'll see at several points that I'm scratching out dirt from his hooves. Yeah, so I took these clippers. These weren't very sharp, which is good. It was better for my first time to not have sharper shears, as I felt more confident even though I had to take little bits off at a time. I feel like that made it better for me personally to be able to do it in a way that I felt was the best and that I felt I could do really well with taking a little bit off and a little bit off so that I was sure that I wasn't getting to anything that could hurt him. We're getting to the end of this foot here. You'll see he resists a lot with his back feet. We're going to the back right foot now. He's kicking, he's kicking. He does not like his back feet being touched, and he's putting most of his support for his whole body on his back 2 legs. So that's why it's harder for him to trust me with that. And this is his first time, probably ever, getting his hooves trimmed. You can see this one's grown over a little bit too. Goat's hooves should really be a flat surface on the bottom and a rounded shape if you look at it. that isn't curled inwards, that is flat against the inside of the two toes. I wasn't looking for that when I was doing this today. I was just looking to make sure that he wasn't too overgrown for show. I will definitely do my best to get the perfect looking hoof, as it will help him drive better, it will help him walk better, and it will impress the judges more to have a cleaner look to the hooves and to how the goat walks. But for right now, the show isn't soon. We just got him, and we just want him to be as comfortable as he can. You can see his hooves are pointed here. I didn't do much with that on this hoof in particular. I tried to round it out a little bit, but that's something that I knew that I didn't know where exactly his toes would end and his quicks would end, so I did not want to go too far into that. It's really important with clipping any animal's nails, hooves, anything, that you take your time, you know what you're doing. I've cut many cats' nails and dogs' nails. See, this foot here is his worst foot. He really did not like his foot being touched. I had to reassure him multiple times. I had to move over his other foot here in a second. You'll see, just so that I can have him have a better support. So I moved that foot over, that way he would lean more against it instead of having that angle to it. But you can see right there, that is a bad looking foot. It had so much dirt in that right side, in that right toe, and it's curled so far inwards. It's almost covering the entire toe with that end part, which is why he really didn't want me touching it, is because that was probably a toe that was bothering him quite a bit. There was a lot of cleanup there that I just did that was able to be done in one big motion. In the middle there between the two toes, there was a very hard and very long section. He's still kicking, try to get me away from that foot. But other than this foot, his toes have been really clean. This one was just, it was curled over so much on that side, and on the other side, it was so curled that nothing could really get in. But on this side that I'm trying to trim here, it was curled over just enough that it was creating like a trap so that dirt couldn't be lifted back out if he tried to get it out without being scraped. So I went ahead and did that for him. I tried to do a little bit more shaping with the ends here, but the clippers that I had were a little bit too dull to do all of that work. I was able to do some of it, shape it up a little bit more. I trimmed down the sides as much as I could comfortably do. There's that little part I was talking about between the hooves. But yeah, I trimmed his sides as much as I could without him getting too fussy and without me feeling like I would be hitting something important. You can just see the beginning to end of this foot alone is incredible. I don't know how he was walking on it before. It looked so uncomfortable whenever I lifted that foot. I know the audio isn't playing, but you can hear me in the original video going, "Oh my God," because it was just so much worse than the other feet. So I'm really glad I was able to do this because I had just seen one of his front feet and known that he had needed this, but I didn't know how much he needed it until I lifted that back left foot. I'm spending a lot more time on that foot too, you can see. But yeah, that was me trimming Cricket's hooves. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.